Hello everybody. Today we got to work on the bike. The last time I shot a video, I was planning on using this to tow my trailer around and show you guys how awesome it is, how easy everything works. Well, I had an issue a couple weeks back where I was heading up a hill, towing my trailer, and I bumped the gear shifter. When that happened, the chain just exploded. There's so much torque in this motor that it just popped the chain. I know, rookie mistake, but it happens. So I fixed the chain. I forgot to check the alignment of the rear derailleur, and then it went nuclear on me. So we're gonna hit on that right now. Hope you guys like it. So here's what happened. Because I didn't check the alignment here, you can see how it's kind of bent out. This thing went nuclear as soon as it got a little torque put on it. On top of that, if you look down the line, you can see how my sprocket is also bent out. So I'll be replacing my sprocket, and there it is. There's the nice little wowie. So I'll be replacing the sprocket and replacing the rear derailleur. I also have to adjust this out, and that requires some bending. Get that bent back out. Put it all back together with the new gear, and then realign everything. You see I've already done my repair on the chain. You just gotta get that off first. It's just a couple pieces. And then this link comes out. Then I can remove the chain. So we're just going to set that chain off to the side. I don't know how damaged that is, so I got a brand new chain ready to go on. I'm going to save this because I might be able to use that as a repair down the road. So I need an Allen. So my trusty kit. I need to loosen this up. Get that out to the side. I am going to have to cut this off of this one and put a new tab on it. Yeah. As you can see right in there, this is going to stop it. So I'll just cut that off and put a new one on when we're done. And bye-bye old one. You can see how it really blew up. Used to have a nice little backing on it. Honestly, that's kind of cheap junk that came with it originally. I'm gonna open up this one. Let's hope I ordered the right one. I bought the Shimano tourney, and that should go right there. I'll take this off, adjust this, and that'll go on there like that. To pull the wheel off and get a little Allen, I think the best way to get at this thing will be to just remove this plate altogether. so we can straighten it out. Now you can really see how it tweaked. Got a nice little bow there. So we got to straighten that out and then put it back on. Here we are on the bench. And what I'm doing is using a piece of wood so I don't mar the aluminum. And we'll see. We still got a pretty good gap there. Looks like it's coming a little bit. Slowly but surely. It's getting a little better. Don't make wood like they used to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a little better piece of wood. All right, well, we've abandoned the idea of using a wooden drift punch. Because we're using a rubber mallet, it's gonna give it a couple of wallops and see how she works. And that's looking pretty good. There is a little bit of a wow right there. Be sure not to smack your fingers. That would suck. A little bit more. Looking pretty good. Let's take the old trusty speed square, and that's looking like it's pretty good. Didn't really mar it up too bad, so I think that's going to be sturdy enough, and we'll put it back on. Good. All right, let's check the fitment. What do you think? That looks pretty straight. We've got good alignment here. I'm going to reassemble. And just think, if I would have paid closer attention to this after I broke that chain, I would have saved myself all the trouble of having to do this. Although, out in the field, you know how it is. Sometimes you're just anxious to get out there and continue hunting. So, I brought these problems onto myself. And hopefully, you guys will learn from my mistake and not have to do this yourself. All right, so you can see we've got a good alignment here. We've sucked it back in. It's in alignment with the sprocket, even though we're changing out this sprocket because it's nuclear. So we're gonna put our new Shimano derailleur on. It's got this little divot here. That needs to go up against that right there, and that's what stops it. There we go. You see we've got good movement. I gotta loosen that up. Now basically all the tools I'm using are stuff that I take out into the field with me. The kit itself came with just about everything I need. The only thing you really need to add are some pliers, specific Allen wrenches, and then I also added in extra links in case I do break a chain while I'm out in the woods hunting. Gotta run this through. Now right now I'm in first gear and you want to keep note of that, so when you're putting this all back together you make sure that you're putting it on the first sprocket so you know you're in first gear when you're trying to set it all up. I'm not going to really reef down on this right now because I just want to get it on here. And then we'll put the chain on. There, that's good enough for right now. We can adjust it here, we can adjust it here. So now we're going to pop off the crank arm and then swap out the sprocket. This is the standard sprocket that came with it. I'm not real happy with it. I really need to order up a smaller sprocket. Fortunately, I got a spare that I'll be able to put on it for now until I order up a new sprocket from Amazon. I'll put that particular sprocket in the link. The reason why I'm getting a different sprocket, all right, line up. The reason why I'm getting a different sprocket is because I want to get about a 28 or a 30 tooth sprocket. What that's going to do is give me better uphill strength and not put as much strain on the motor when I'm running heavier loads.
It's all about the torque.
And hopefully this will come off easy. All right, should be able to get this to pop off. Wait, loosen this up a little bit. I went too tight on it. There. Okay. Coming off, right? Yes. I have had troubles with this in the past, and it's not pretty. If you'll go back to one of my previous videos where I was building this bike, that was a nightmare. That's how it really should come off. Fairly easy. Set that off to the side. Got my tool that comes with my kit. To quickly loosen them all first, and then I'll spin them off. Don't necessarily have to take them off like this, but you know, I've changed too many tires. Kind of force a habit to alternate around. You guys can take them off however you want, but definitely when you put them on, put it back on, alternating just like you would putting a new wheel on a car. And we'll take that off and throw it off to the side. Grab this beautiful Lecky bling ring HD 36 tooth. This is the one I'm gonna order, is the 28 tooth. A very nice sprocket. I'm going to line that up. Now the one I took off is a 40 tooth. You wouldn't think it'd be that big of a difference just losing 4 teeth, but it is going to make a difference. And when I drop 6 more teeth down to 30, I'm going to get way more torque and way more hill climbing capability compared to that 40 tooth. And if I'm lucky enough to be able to find the 28 tooth, even better. That was a little snug. I'm just gonna snug them all down first. And you're probably asking why I haven't put any blue Loctite on it. Well, I already got blue Loctite on it. Okay. That spins nice. So before I put my crank arm on it, I'm going to wipe it down, get any debris and dirt off of it. You see there's a little bit of oil left on it from when I originally assembled it. So I'm going to take a little dab of bearing grease, get that little piece of wood off of there, and just get each side. Don't go too crazy with it, just enough to lubricate and keep it from seizing up on you. So if you do have to do this again, it's much easier. So make sure you are opposite of the other side before you start cranking it down. It's always fun when you are trying to pedal like this. So make sure your crank arms are in the right position. And then you got to kind of watch it crank on there. You're going to see this close up as I crank it in. It's got to go a little bit more. Different one. I need a little more leverage. So I think this is the right size. Hey, look at that. First try. I'm getting there. That's pretty close. Take a peek at the other side. Yeah, looks about right. I'll give it one more crank. Okay. That'll do it. So now that we've got this on, we've got new crank sprocket, new derailleur. now comes time for the new chain. And if you've ever put a chain on, oh, they're fun. They're lots of fun. Because this is how they come out of the box. You have to straighten everything out. Oh yeah, lots of fun. Imagine doing this up in the woods when it's raining, you're miserable. Sitting there with dirt all over you. Yeah, awesome. There is a little guard right here on the front part of this sprocket that I missed. I gotta go through that. So we start over. There we go. I can see it's already out of alignment. I'll have to adjust that. And that's where that cable tension comes into play. But we need to get the chain on before we can do that. So, I'm going to put that one on. If you take a close look at this, you see how it's got this little slot? That's going to go on like that, and then you pull it together. Just like that. Oh, come on, gotta get it lined up. Gonna have to use the pliers to kind of pop it. I'm going to use the pliers to pinch it together. There we go. You see how it looks? That is a functional chain. If we come back here, so I need to put this on the first gear. And I need to make sure that I am in first gear. So you can see I'm in first gear. Double check that. And now I'll go back down and make my adjustments down below. Okay, so now that I made sure that we're in first gear up on top, let's actually put it in first gear, which is way up here. And we are definitely needing to make some adjustments on that derailleur. I'm probably going to have to change out my little guard here. It took a little bit of hit from the derailleur. Oh yeah, that's really got to move. So, not that one. Now I need to make my other adjustments because we can't make it over there in the position it is now. That is where these come into play. So I need to adjust these. Is that high or low? So you'll see here, we've got an H for high gear and an L for low. So I'm gonna have to adjust the L, and hopefully we'll see that move in the right direction as I adjust. Wrong way. There we go. Now we're starting to get that motion. We're almost to the point where we can adjust it. And that's lining up pretty good. So now I've got to adjust this again. Get my cable tension right. And let's see, are we pretty well lined up? Pretty well lined up. So I'm gonna do a little test. So we have an issue with this needing to be pulled back a little bit. See how it's actually touching the sprocket is touching your main sprocket. That's a problem. We need to have it come back a little bit. All right, we got everything lined up. You got to play with this a little bit to get your cable adjustment right. We did have to pull the cable out and clip this back a little bit. There's little rubber boots on there that you pull out and then put back on to protect the cable. But you have to make an adjustment here sometimes when you're switching out your, new from the old. And this one's really worn out. I really beat it up. But we're good now. We went through all the gears and we start off on one and we work our way down. And as we get further down, that's when you move over to the high gear adjustment and have to do some slight adjustments there, either bringing it out or in. But we got everything good. Now I'll be clipping this off. Leave a little bit of room on there so if I have to adjust it later, I can. And I'll cut that off, put an end on it, and then put some shrink wrap on there to make sure it's nice and safe and not going to be kicking in and messing up anything here. We've got the new sprocket on. It works awesome. All right, so we're all done, and hopefully everything I did here is going to help you guys out, and maybe you won't have to deal with it as deep as I did. You can always bring it to a bike shop, and it probably cost you $200 or $300 to have this repair done. One thing I can definitely say you're gonna need when you're out in the middle of nowhere is a kit like this. I'll post a link to this particular kit and some other ones that I like that are like it in the links down below. you're gonna have to add on a few things. Even those pliers are a must no matter what, or get yourself a nice Leatherman. An Allen set that matches everything you need here. You don't necessarily need to bring this with you when you're out in the middle of nowhere, but why not? It's lightweight, slides right into your kit, and then a wrench to make sure you are able to, you know, wrench on it. So there you have it. Maybe in the next video, I'll dive a little deeper into the gear kit I bring out and some of the pannier bags, and we'll dive into how I stuff this thing full of gear that's going to be useful to me when I'm out on a hunt and I'm out, you know, 10, 15 miles back on some trail somewhere. Till next time, get outdoors. Thanks for watching.